Hello and welcome to the Brandon Smith Rugby channel for today's watch along. It is Bristol Bears. They travel to Brentford to take on London Irish in the Premiership. Welcome along. If you're new here, I'm Brandon and I cover all things rugby here on the channel. But today we're doing a watch along for the Premiership. It's tough times at the minute, isn't it, with the pandemic? We can't meet together. We can't get into the stadium to watch our teams play. So I thought it'd be a great idea to connect fans together. This is a brilliant way of doing it. I'm wearing a Bristol Bears top today. I'm excited for this game. Before we get started, though, we do have a very special guest jumping on in just a second, and he is an expert on all things Premiership rugby. He knows so much more about it than I do, and he's going to take us through this game. But if you are new here, subscribe, leave a like on the stream, and get involved in the chat. Chat all things rugby. Any questions you've got throughout the course of the game and the afternoon, make sure to get them in the chat. Anyway, without further ado, let me welcome our guest. It is Freddie from FBTC Rugby on YouTube. He's a fantastic channel. I'll put a link in the chat as well for that one. Let's welcome Freddie in. Freddie, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Unfortunately, I don't have a Bristol Bears or London Irish top, but I'm doing well, thanks. Hopefully, I'll get some. Hopefully, no red cards in this game because nearly every game could have had a red card. This week.
Very true. Very true. There's been a lot of red cards, hasn't there? And that's been a big talking point in the world of rugby. There's not long to kick off, so let's have a look at the teams. I see a few people in the chat already. I will get to your comments in just a second. Let's have a look then at the home team first of all, London Irish. They are the home side. So let's start with the fullback. So Stokes plays at fullback with Loader and Collins on the wing, with the centre partnership then Arona and Clues, with Paddy Jackson, very, very good player and playing really well at the minute at 10. Meehan then is at 9. And then if we look from the front row back, we got Clark, Cornish and Chawatama then on the front row, with Knott and Maffey in the locks. Rogerson then is captain at 6, with Cowan and Tuisu at 8. Leaving a bench then of Creevy, the Argentinian, Dell, Hoskins, Simmons, O'Brien, Nick Phipps, Hepatima and Parton. Freddie, what do you think of that team? Do you think that's a strong side going out today?
That's a very strong time, and just think 300 test appearances off that badge. If London Irish are still in the game at that point, they've got so much experience, and I think it'll be a close. With Bristol having they've got May-Lindsay, quite a few players out through international, and Semi's injured. But I do think it'll be close if we can see some running rugby. It looks good conditions down in London. But hopefully we'll get to see some rugby, and watch out for, I think Paddy Jackson is probably their best 10 in the Premiership. Premiership, one of the best 10s, and Ireland's probably second, closing in on Johnny Sexton, Ireland's best 10. He's been ripping it up.
Definitely, he's been playing very well. Let's take a look then at Bristol Bears. This is their team that's going to take on this Irish side, starting with the fullback then, Charles Piatow. One of the best feats in rugby. His step is brilliant. Luke Morahan then is on the wing alongside Sivo Naologa. Then in the centres, you have Piers O'Connor and Sam Bedlow. Callum Sheedy, of course, is Welsh. I am a Wales fan. I am Welsh. So Callum Sheedy at 10 will be interesting to see how he gets along today. Andrew Uren then is at 9. Then if we look at the forwards, starting with the front row, we have Jan Thomas, Will Capon and John Afoa. David Atwood then is alongside Chris Rue in the lock. Stephen Lower-Tower, of course, captain of the side, incredible player. He is the captain. Dan Thomas and Mitch Eady. And then the bench, you have Klosko, Woolmore, Armstrong, Holmes, Heenan, Kessel, Johan Lloyd, of course, once again is Welsh, and Leua. Freddie, your thoughts on that team? Would you say Bristol are favourites for this game with this team?
I would still say they're favourites. They've rested Nathan Hughes, he has been at England international. Bring Mitch Eady, that's different. Saints, he played for Saints before, and he's not as good as Hughes, but a very physical ball carrier. I think Sheedy will give control at 10. I think he's so important in the way they play. I think you saw that last week with Lloyd. Lloyd I don't think he's a 10 in the future. I think he's more of a fullback. He doesn't offer the control you need at a 10, but I think it'll be very close. So whoever gets off to the better start, I think, will go on and win this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. And what we are certain of seeing, well, I hope, is running rugby, because yesterday I did an Ospreys against Zebra live watch along, and we didn't get our first points to 42 minutes into the game. That game was horrendous, to say it.
It's probably more entertaining, probably watch Tigers.
Yeah, it was such a bad game. The players were dropping the ball all the time. Mistakes at the breakdown. The scrum was woeful. Let's hope this game is a little bit better. And yeah, I'm very hopeful that we can see the game.
The reaction, just how poor Irish were last week. So
yeah,
I might be a bit behind because I'm watching it on my Xbox. So I'm not.
So we'll be at the same time, I think. Yeah, so we should be at the same time. So yeah, let's hope for a good game. And let's take a look at the table actually, because that will be quite interesting to see where both teams are at the minute coming into this one. Let me just get it up on the screen.
And Bristol are top.
They are top. So let me share my screen so everyone can see what we are looking at. There we go. So there we go. This is the table currently. This is how it looks. So Bristol, as you rightly say, Freddie, are top, while London Irish sit down in ninth, having only won 3 games all season, losing 5 sets on 22 points. And then Bristol Bears, of course, are absolutely flying. 7 wins out of 9, 2 losses. They've got the bonus points, 4 times losing bonus point twice, scored 28 tries, conceded 15, which is the second best in the league. Their defence is second best in the league. But this weekend, we saw a lot of shocking results, wouldn't you say? You mean, we're looking, if we head down to round 10, we saw some interesting results, didn't we? We saw Northampton beat Exeter, which is a big result, isn't it, in terms of the league, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, so I'd say it was a big result. I think they were really impressive. I think there's been some controversy about Joe Simmons slightly taking his step forward. That is in the rules of the game forward. So well done by Saints to do that. And they were very good. They matched on physicality. They're a bit like if England. So I've matched. Basically, it was like a Scotland versus England game, very physical. And Northampton out-muscled Exeter.
Yeah. And then we also saw Harlequins beating Sale. I predicted that, and you went for Sale win. So
I do
that game.
I thought Faf would be playing. I think that they rested a couple of players. I didn't. If I saw the team sheet, I would have gone Harlequins.
Yeah.
But I thought Faf would start. But I think another Leicester. How dominant and on to how dominant were Leicester? Leicester was so dominant yesterday. Over Wasps, and Wasps. There were 2 red cards for Leicester, and one that was probably the biggest talk point in the weekend. It will take the headlines will take by how the red cards, but Leicester beat them. Doesn't suggest.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, also on Friday night we saw Bath take on Gloucester. Red cards for me. Both of them were red cards, especially the first one. You just can't be.
Probably, in my opinion, should have been a red card every game. Dave Ewers for Exeter and John Luke Dupree for Sale should have been a red card for every game this weekend. Yeah,
and I think it does, of course, you know, you have to, as players, abide to the laws, you have to, and it certainly was a red card. But that game finished Bath winning 16-14, Talupe Falatau getting a try there. So today's game, of course, is London Irish against Bristol Bears. Just a reminder for anyone that's watching who may think that we're going to show the game. We are not. I'm not allowed to do that. Copyright, and I don't have the rights to do that. It is live on BT Sport 1 right now. That's when me and Freddie are watching it. So we're going to take you through the game and hopefully just give you a bit of entertainment. But the game itself should be enough entertainment, I'm hoping, because it can't be worse than last night's game.
So Hugo saying the battle is of the 2 sevens, Blair Cam versus Dan Todd, and saying the 2 back 3 battles are Holly Haskell and Loden Stokes versus Nagulin, Pietau, and who's on the left? I can't remember who's on the left, but who's ever on the left for Bristol. Nagulin, Morahan, Pietau versus Stokes, Holly Haskell, Collins, and Loder. That I would agree. That back 3 battle is a great one.
It is. We're going to see some running rugby. That's why. This is why I decided to do this game, because we are likely to see running rugby. Both teams going for it, and as you said before, the conditions look quite good for that type of rugby to be played. So hopefully we'll see some ball thrown about. Just before we kick off, be sure to subscribe here on the Brandon Smith Rugby channel as we push towards 1,000 subscribers. Check out Freddie's channel as well, FBTC Rugby. I'll link it in the chat now so you can go and check it out. Hit the subscription button. If you're a fan of Premiership Rugby especially, this is the channel for you. 100% it's the channel for you. So I'll put a link in the chat now.
Yeah.
For everyone to go and check out your channel. Let me put that in there.
I think it'll be really. I was looking. This is probably the weekend. What on the main BT Sport channel? I think this is game of the weekend.
Definitely.
Hopefully there's no cards in it because I don't think that's what we want at all. And good to see Callum, your Wales internationals come untouched.
Yeah, it was really good for us that none of our players got injured. I was concerned about the likes of Falatau because he picks up a lot of knocks. So I was a little bit worried about that, but he came through okay. Sheedy, let's hope he comes through okay as well. And Johan Lloyd, if he comes off the bench. Although Johan Lloyd isn't in the Wales setup, he's always an option. You don't want any of your players to get injured. We're just about to kick off here down at the Brentford Community Stadium, so we'll keep you posted on anything that happens in the game. Get your predictions in the chat as well. Quickly then, Freddie, who are you backing to win this one and what's your score?
I want Bears to win because if London Irish win, they go above Tigers. So I want to get as high up as possible. So Bears, so Irish kicking off now. I don't know where you are.
Yeah, just kick off now, 10 seconds in.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? What's your score prediction?
I'm going 30-20 to the Bears.
Ooh, I'm going to say 35-24 to Bears. I really hope we see a scoreline like that. And both teams really go for it. Bears with the ball in their own 22, and they'll go through the phases. So let's hope we're in for a good game for sure.
What second you're on at the moment?
I am on 43 seconds.
You're just ahead of me then.
Okay. There we go. And a line out, 2 Irish on the halfway line. Here we go then.
Yeah, it's a good, really good kick there.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It takes the pressure off his team, doesn't it? That's the big thing. And I mean, the conditions are perfect for rugby. The conditions are perfect. It's going to be a good day for throwing the ball about.
Ewan's nowhere near as good as Harry Randall is, but it just showed they do miss Randall a lot. But just I think the control that they will have.
Lovely word from Irish.
Oh, this is what we wanted to see.
Yeah, it's already better than the Zebra Ospreys game, and we've been playing a minute and a half.
Oh, but they've got a turnover. It looks like.
They've retained it. Paddy Jackson with the ball now, tackled.
Well, that's a bit risky.
Already seen running rugby, which looks good for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I do think this is what I like to see. The good thing about having different styles in I don't know about the Pro 14 as much, but it's good to have different styles because we don't always want to say the running rugby. We want to see different teams do the maul and dry, a bit like do you say Leicester they want to go play more forward-based game, but then you've got Bristol who want to play attack, and we don't all the teams want to be the same. Yeah,
exactly. It's nice to have that mix. They have come back for the original penalty now for London Irish, so I would assume they'd go to the corner with this, but lovely run there. And it took them straight into the 22. Let's see what they're going to decide to do.
I go to the post.
Jackson is going for the posts. Is he?
I imagine so.
Yes, he is. Yeah, get the score position, I guess. That's the big thing, isn't it? Get the score going early on.
Oh, that could be a red.
Okay, they're checking this.
Maybe a yellow. Looks, he's landed on his neck, back area.
Let's have a watch back of this one. Let's see what the ref decides. Watching it now. Ball comes out. Has he dropped him? He's dropped him. He's off.
Wow. Well, why can't we just go one game without a red card?
I know. The problem there is he's dropped him straight on his head, hasn't he? He hasn't controlled it. It's similar in a way. I don't know if you remember in the 2011 Rugby World Cup with Sam Warburton, where he dropped Vincent Clark, was it? Yeah, on his head. And there's no control on that. He's not put him down safely.
He said, we sorted out that drop tackle.
Yeah.
And he's just gone and done that now. But it's very unlucky. He's got to be more careful. That is on the head there. I'm just saying that. But how, if they don't give a red card for this, I don't know. It's exactly the same incident. Oh, he's given a yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, they've got away with that one. Because that looks like it's could have been a red. Or another day it could have been a red.
Yeah, definitely.
Luckily, we get to see the 14 men, and hopefully the player's all right. I think I can't tell who it is at the moment that's down, but hopefully he's all right.
I think he's lucky to be on the pitch. When he comes back on, obviously, Sam Bedlow sends the sin bin for a dangerous tackle there. I think he's lucky to be on later on in the game. I think that could easily have been a red.
Because we saw, I think yesterday, I know it's in the air, but you saw a person landing on the neck, the back area in Josh Bassett's. And they got the red card too, so I don't think it's that different.
No. Do you think that the ref is aware of how many red cards there have been this weekend and he's thinking about that? Or do you think that ref should just referee the game regardless of what's happened over the course of the weekend?
3-0. Yeah. I think, I don't know. I think Carl Dixon, because he's only been refereeing a couple of years, because he used to be a scrum half for Ireland. I don't know what they think. But again, I don't. With Nigel Owens retired from international rugby. Internationally, it's my opinion. I think Wayne Barnes is one of the best in the world now. He's so good for what he says. He's similar. Nigel Owens and him are very similar. They're clear for what they say. Very clear. And for a fan, it's very interesting to see. They're starting to run. Stokes back inside to move for Clues. Clues, look for the offload back inside. Paddy Jackson, good line. As I can tell a bit more. I think they've got interest and they've gone with for Clues. Ollie Hassel Collins always knocked it on. Back to Luatua, knock on.
It's a lovely play from Irish, and this is what we wanted to see, wasn't it? We want to see open rugby, and that's certainly what we're seeing.
How is there not a knock on there?
That's crazy.
That was how
on the floor. He's knocked it on the floor.
Oh, it's Irish. Finally, it's Irish scrum. I was going to say, how many times did that look like it went forward? It's a great move by Rona to get that offload away. Back inside to Brew for Clues coming in today. Good to see he's back up because he was the one who had that big hit on him.
Irish throwing the ball about really nicely there. Bristol's defence trying to go up quickly and they're leaving spaces in behind, which is a big issue for them. And if this kick is, let's just watch this kick back. Is this not a knock on? Oh, it's off his feet. It's off his feet. It's okay.
It looked like a knock on to me. I think because I've just seen that kick, I think I might be ahead of you now.
Yeah.
Because I'm on 5:40 now.
I'm 5 seconds behind you.
So really quick. Yeah. So okay. Now they're with the ball now. They want to get it out. Leaning with Phipps on the bench. Now they're going to run it hard. Paddy back in. Look for that offload. And he's got it. It's interception, isn't it? It's Charles Pearto. He's going to get caught, it looks like. He's going to get it back inside. And what a tackle by Ben Loader. Urine. And it's a try for Player of the Month for January, Piers O'Connor.
Lovely try. There it is. Beautiful try. Against the run of play. Against the run of play. You have to say, Irish have been all over them.
That's a great read from Piers O'Connor. I want to see the replay of this. And that is good. So then, it's a bit of a slow pass that allows, and it's clever read, but it's a bit of a slow pass from whoever passed it to, and I can't see it. Great offload there. Could have gone anywhere, but luckily it went into their hands, and it's a great try from Piers O'Connor. Oh, that's just unlucky to not go into, because it could have gone. It could have gone that way, but luckily it gone into his hands. Oh, he's very lucky to have that in his hands. But Piers O'Connor, lovely try. He's such a Piers O'Connor could play for Australia, I think Wales, Scotland, England.
Wow.
Sheedy, will he get it?
And to think that Bristol are down to 14 men to score. Right, Sheedy, come on.
Yes, he's got it.
There we go. So Bristol leading here, 7 points to 3 against the run of play, it must be said. But a great try, a great intercept from Piatau as well. And Bristol leads 7 points to 3. Lovely try there.
I think it's a great read by Piatau, and just I think he's very lucky to still have that. That ball could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Luckily, it went to Andy Urin, but now the most important thing for the Bears is to not do anything stupid. They've got to now recycle this ball and not like that and give a penalty away. That's just as I say that, you've got to recycle the ball and clear it, and then you go and consider what they're going to do here. Do they go
over the breakdown though? You've got to say that. Yeah,
you can't. They look to play clear your lines. That's the most important thing when you just score points. It's all about clearing your lines. They've gone to the corner.
Though is he's gone in on his own. Luato has gone in on his own there. The support is a bit slow to him, and there's 2 Irish players straight away over him. And in rugby, we both know this. If you win the battle of the breakdown, you're likely to win the game. That's just how it goes. And at the minute, that's what we've seen at the minute, that Irish have been able to get quick balls and create opportunities.
But that's a bit lucky. They've thrown it over the top. Lucky. Very lucky there. They've got to get men over there. Do they pick and go? No, they're going to keep going with Ben Meehan. Meaning they're going to look to hit hard. Back to Rogerson, their captain. Okay. A bit direct. There's not many. And there's another interception. Oh, there's another one. And there is another try for Nagolan this time. And Bristol running away just like a click of fingers.
It's ridiculous, this. It's ridiculous, this.
They're passing the ball a bit too slowly, so it's easy to read for me.
With Irish as well, they play quite narrow. They're very close together all the time, and it's little pop passes, which is very obvious what they're doing all the time.
Was intercepted. They're a bit narrow, and they have no options there, and that got intercepted. I do, Greg. I do believe Bristol play like the Barbarians in a way. They're like. I don't think. To be fair, I think Irish will be felt very hard done by.
Oh, for sure. And to think now that Bristol have had 2 tries with a man in the bin is mental to think of, isn't it? They probably can run another minute off this clock now to give them about 2 minutes left on this yellow. But for Irish, I mean, it's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating for them. But a great start to the game, and Sheedy adds the 2 points to make it 14 points to 3 with just over 10 minutes on the clock here. There we go. 14 points to 3 there. 2 Bristol Bears. The thing is, for Irish, though, you'd have to say they haven't done that much wrong. They've actually done everything okay. It's just that they've been so unlucky with the intercepts. They've played in the right areas of the pitch. They've looked like they're going to score. But for whatever reason, those intercepts have just happened. And there's not that much you can do about that, really. It's good reading from Bristol. Maybe the passing is a little bit narrow, a little bit too close to each other.
It's up now. They're starting to play.
Bristol are playing still, though, here. Lovely ball up here.
I think the way they play, I think they suit the right players. They brought the right players in to suit. Oh, that's a great offload. Oh, this is worrying if you're an Irish fan.
Well, Bristol will be confident.
Look, no, they're not offside. They just came back at the right time. No, they're advantage. They got the advantage here. What they're going to do with it? No, that's not kick to nothing.
Yeah, you might as well try something in that position if it's not working. If I was Bristol here, I think you take the points, you run the clock down on the yellow card, and then you go, 17-3 up? You've got 17 points in a 10-minute period when you've been down to 14 men. What a start to the game, though.
Yeah, it's a great. This one, not the tries we thought we would get like this,
Yeah.
but good to see we've got some. I think we're going to have loads of tries.
For sure. Well, I said I wanted like 35, 24, I think I said. Well, I mean, we're nearly halfway there already to that for Bristol.
They've only got about 30 seconds left on the sim bin.
Yeah.
I think he's going to wind the clock down. And I think if you're a Bristol Bears fan, you'll be extremely happy at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. This kick is right in front of the posts, but a bit of distance out.
I bet Sheedy, quality he is, he'll get this.
Yeah, he should get this for sure.
As he's their regular kicker. I think the way, talking about it, we could probably get onto this later, England-Wales, but the way I think Sheedy doesn't suit the Wales play. I think Bigger is a better person. I think at the moment, Bigger's better for that Wales shirt.
I do and I don't. Sheedy just got the extra, just got 3 points there, so that's 17 points to 3. The yellow card is over.
17 points gain there for Bristol.
Exactly, within having a man sent down. But back to your point on that about Bigger. Sheedy for me is very, very good, but it was worrying against Scotland that he missed those 2 kicks. Really worrying that he missed them. They were easy kicks, which he should have got. I think Bigger controls the game better, but when Sheedy came on, I was really impressed by Pivac's substitutions and when he did them and the fact that he backed himself with that. Thought both of them, Kieran Hardy and Sheedy, both made a difference. Both sped the game, had that attacking impetus to go forward. I don't think he's ready to start against England. I think that's too big a game. Maybe against Italy, that is an option, but not against England. I would not start him against England at all. But
I like Sheedy, but he's just a bigger, in international level, you need to have a bit more control about you. Your kicking game has to be spot on. And players, it's been cool for Joe Simmons to start. I think Marcus Smith is ready. He's got the perfect kicking battle. But I don't think Joe Simmons has it. And I can't wait. I think in 2023, we're going to see Smith in the squad when Eddie Jones leaves. It's going to happen.
Definitely. They were talking about it before the game. Once he's out, which I would think would be after the next World Cup. I can't see him leaving before then, and I can't really see him staying after that. But yeah, Marcus Smith has to be in the squad. But then you got players like Ben Spencer, who just hasn't really had a chance to play at all. You got the Simmons brothers. I mean, the Exeter team are European champions and have won the league, and yet they're not in the England squad, which is baffling to me.
This is what I have a point. He doesn't. The way Eddie Jones wants to play at the moment, he doesn't suit that back row. I think people need to understand, if you want to change your team around, yes, bring Simmons in, but you need a big physical ball carrier. I think is a bit more of a bet. When Billy, I think Ben Youngs will retire after the next World Cup. Billy's going to retire soon. Mako's going to retire soon. I think you're going to see Genge starting a bit more. I think you're going to see. I want to see Nathan Hughes because I think he's been playing really well for Bristol, but that might be just Bristol's the way they're playing.
He got a bad injury though. Was it last week? Was it?
Yeah. He won't play this Six Nations. I mean, I think he's looked good this season, but everyone will. The more you say about Sam Simmons, the less likely he's going to get picked.
Yeah, true.
They said this about Don Armand. Well, Machidi carrying that hard. I think Wales versus England is going to be massive. If he drops Louis Rees-Zammit, I said in the show, I don't know who saw it. If he drops Louis Rees-Zammit, what is Pivac doing and keeps with Liam Williams?
He won't drop him. I think it's an interesting debate though for Wales now about who.
Josh Adams. That's a big call.
Yeah, because there's been rumours in the press. How much of it you want to believe, I don't know, but that they're looking. Josh Adams has been training really, really well over the past week, and so he looks set to start. So what I would think you would see probably is Adams, Zammit, and Liam Williams as a back three. I haven't heard about Halfpenny's injury, but it doesn't sound good at the minute. So I think that'll be the back three, and then it depends on the centre then who is available.
Johnny is.
So, I mean, if Johnny Williams is back fit, then he probably starts. If Jonathan Davis is fit, for me, you start him because he's world class. But I think someone like Owen Watkin probably deserves a chance. Halaholo came on and had a big influence on the game and played really, really well.
I don't think he's ready yet to start. I think he looked good, but I don't think he's ready to start in a big game like England. And if England choose to start Owen Farrell up to 10, England will lose.
Do you think so?
I think England will lose if Owen Farrell starts at 10. I think you have to start. If you're going to start Farrell, you've got to start him at 12. Ford controls the game a bit more, and we actually see some better kicking.
Yeah. Well, I thought we saw that against Italy. It's hard to judge against Italy because Italy, no disrespect to them, everyone's going to beat Italy this season. Everyone's going to beat them, and everyone's going to get a bonus point against them. As Bristol just attacking there, they've knocked it forward though. No. But yeah, everyone's going to beat Italy this season. But for England, I think Ford made such a difference with his play style, with the way he opened the game up and things like that. I think the issue for Farrell though is he's not a captain. You know, he's just not mentally a captain. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people are captains, some people aren't captains. That's fine. But he can't deal with the pressure of it. He doesn't lead by example. He's too mouthy to the ref. When things go wrong, he doesn't have an answer. We've seen that twice now. So I really worry.
In the British side, the only real captain is Alan Jones. Out and out captain is. I don't see one. I don't think Stuart. He's doing well at the moment, but I don't think he's an out and out captain. It's very hard to be an out captain at fullback. I won in Ireland. Alan Jones is the only one in the British and Irish lands that I see captain that team. I think Owen Farrell was the way England. You need. He doesn't have the. He suits Saracens' game style, but he doesn't really suit the proper England game style. We can't attack as much.
Yeah, for sure. And at 10, you control the game so much. And what I felt about him against Scotland, it wasn't just him, it was the whole England team. England didn't have any ideas. And when they ran out of ideas, the plan was, let's just kick. Let's just kick it. And they kicked it to Hogg, who's probably the best fullback in the world right now. They kicked it to Finn Russell, who's the best 10 in the world right now. They gave it to Darcy Graham, who's a fantastic winger. They gave it to Duane van der Merver, who's probably been one of the form wingers in the competition so far with Louis V. Summit. There was just no idea what to do.
I can't wait to see more of Van der Merwe in the Premiership. It's going to be absolutely...
well, he's joined Worcester, hasn't he, from Edinburgh. So he'll be playing for Worcester now.
I think they've made some really astute signings. I think they're losing Duncan Weir, but I think the money that they lost with Duncan Weir getting Duane van der Merwe.
Definitely.
And they got some young players coming through that are really good. But overall, I think it's going to be really close next week. And depends what England team comes out.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see what happens with that. Yeah. But Bristol here on the halfway line. Nothing much happened for the last couple of minutes after a crazy start.
Penalty to London Irish. Blair Cowan getting over the ball.
Yeah, that's a great rip. That's brilliant work.
I think he doesn't get appreciated enough because he's so good. He's good. I think he's in their leadership group as well. And he's good over the ball. And I think when you have Sean O'Brien that's not normally fit, I think he's so important. And I think he's unfortunately he's been left out of Scotland recognition now.
Yeah.
Poor kick from Paddy Jackson there. Poor kick.
Yeah. Similar to the Billy Burns kick against Wales. He needs to be getting that in. I think in those situations, you just put it in the corner because you're looking at the scoreboard. You think if they need to get points on, just play in the 22. You've been playing all right so far.
They can't score, and you need to get a try as soon as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's just a bit too long.
Indeed.
But he's been really up in the Premiership. Apart from that getting today, he's been really good.
I like the ambition that he's shown to try and do that, but it just doesn't. It's not the right thing to do, is it? It's you just get it in. You get it in the 22, and you go from there. All the hard work that they've done to win that penalty now is gone.
In they go. Oh, that's lucky there. Poor pass from Andy Uren that allows the space. Ben Loader can get it away.
Ooh, it's a bit scrappy at the minute.
Oh, it was a great charge down, but The pass there was a bit.
Yeah, he nearly got away with that one, but halfway through the first half, Freddie, how would you summarise this first 20 minutes or so? Irish haven't been playing badly, have they? It's just that they've had 2 unlucky tries against them.
Yeah, I think Irish have been the better team today. I think the way they played the better team, but I think just 2 unlucky, just a bit too easy. It was quite easy to read. Oh, they got another ball now over the top. I'm going to come back to that. Great turnover, Ronaldo has to call. Now they need to counter-attack. And they got a penalty holding on from Dan Thomas. So London Irish got a penalty so they can clear downfield.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you summarise this first 20 minutes? What do you think?
Technically, Kidney will be, of London Irish, will be a bit annoyed that they're behind. But they haven't. They've been just very unlucky. It's all about luck of the coin sometimes.
Yeah.
With the interceptions, they can go with you or they can go against you. Luck, unfortunately, Irish, they'll be happy. But for Bristol, they'll be extremely happy not being in the game too much and to go continue this lead, going 3-17. I think they'll be very happy at the moment. Yeah,
for sure they will be. And I think, if they go in at half time looking like this, it's not bad at all.
They've got to get this line out right. You're not going to get anything in this game if you. I think Creevy is going to be on soon.
Bristol coming forward here.
Getting over this ruck. Another penalty. Do they go for the line out though? What are they going to do?
I think they've got to take points here. They need to get something on the wall, you think, now. I mean, Bristol are struggling at the breakdown. Irish are really beginning to dominate that part of the game.
Going for the corner.
Brave decision. They've got to come away with something then, but they're thinking, well, look, we're 2 scores behind.
He's gone for safety this time, Paddy Jackson.
I think he's learned his lesson, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think if he doesn't touch, he's going a bit further.
Yeah.
Can Cornish get this?
Here we go. They need to get this line out right.
Because Matau is suspended from a red card last week. They need to.
I'm going to drive him all. Here we go.
Okay.
And it's stopped well by Bristol, you'd have to say so.
It's one-off carries and it's quite easy to read defensively. You need to. Paddy. Oh, Lobody's got it away. Get a look to Ollie Hassel-Collins now. Have the. They get a opportunity to go from the corner again. Go for the corner because it's in a tight angle. Try and go for the front again because then I don't think they'll jump up because it's right by their line. Are they going for points this time?
Yeah, I think they need to get something more on the board, don't they? So that's what they're going to be doing now. But Paddy Jackson, right in front of the post, this should be an easy 3 points for them. But that's better for Irish, going through the phases, making Bristol.
I would only say
the penalties.
About that, they were only, and it's a bit easy defensively until they got it out wide. They were only making one-off runners, and that's quite easy for a defensive team there. I think they just need one-off and then a dummy line going inside, just to make it a bit harder for Bristol to read it.
Definitely.
Take a man out. I think if they took that, if they did a dummy line, maybe might have had a
breaking news about the French. Arthur Vincent and Julien Marchand have both also tested positive for COVID. That means both of them, alongside Gabien Villiers, the winger, Mohamed Hawass, the forward, and of course the player in the world, Antoine Dupont, are in isolation now after catching the virus. How much of a blow do you think that is to France now ahead of Scotland?
The chance you're ever going to have at the moment in the next couple of years for Scotland to get a win there. I mean, it's a good opportunity.
It is a massive opportunity for sure. That's breaking news throughout today. So any news that breaks, we'll let you know about that. But I think this is the only rugby game taking place today in any league, in the top leagues in Europe. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's nothing else going on today. So it's an interesting day of rugby, and this is a good game for sure already. So Bristol Bears leading this one 17 points to 6. 27 minutes and a bit gone. Big tackle there. Did he get him in the air? Potentially.
Okay. Now they got it over the top. Sheedy back inside. Good line there from Piers O'Connor. Urine back inside. Charles got the footwork stepping inside. Oh, that's a knock on. Now, can they counter this? And they're going back for the knock on. So knock on from Charles. Now they're going back for.
Yeah. It's a bit of a scrappy game now, isn't it? It started quickly and feistily and went a bit crazy, but it's now slowed down a little bit. The players are maybe, I don't know, settling into the groove of the game because it was such a quick start, wasn't it? We had a yellow, then we had 2 intercept tries.
I think you're going to see a try before half time. I think you'll see one.
Well, we'll have to see in the next 13 minutes. If you are watching and you're new here, do subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, like and follow the page. Also, check out Freddie's channel at FBTC Rugby. He's the expert on Premiership Rugby. He knows a lot more than I do about the league and about the teams and the players, so do check him out. We have a scrum here then.
Yeah.
Putin will be Irish. But again, a really entertaining game of rugby so far.
Oh, I thought that might have been a penalty.
Not held, apparently.
Oh, it's gone dead. It's gone dead.
Paddy Jackson not having the...
No, I built for this game, and he's not proving. I think it just needs I can see what he's trying to do, but it's unfortunate. Sometimes it just doesn't go for you.
No, exactly. But
a really dangerous for Irish. It's really dangerous because Bristol could. They're very, very good off first phase.
Yeah. Definitely. So scrum just over the halfway line for Bristol. Let's see what they can create here. Just a reminder, at half time, we will take a quick 2-minute break just to gather a few bits, get maybe a drink or so. So don't go anywhere, but be sure to join us for the second half as we watch that one. And of course, next weekend it is Six Nations. We have Italy, they take on Ireland, and Wales take on England. France against Scotland at the minute is still going ahead. For how long, I don't know. But no, hopefully it'll go ahead because that should be quite a good game.
I can't see that going ahead. It's the amount of positive cases that's happening at the moment. But Duane, Villarreal, today's news. Took it quickly, free kick. But I don't see the games to go ahead. Premiership have their games just have 1 or 2 positive tests. Oh, that's a great offload back inside. Look for any space. No, they're going to look to play. They got just about there. Oh, they just got stopped there. Urine Haston. Dan Thomas is going to look. No, he's not going to pass the back inside.
It'd have been better to have taken that into contact, to be honest, than trying to offload it there.
Dan Thomas, the advantage. They try and play something for it. Go back for the penalty.
You've got to try something here, then, don't you? You're thinking, what can we try here? And they'll come back for the original penalty. Easy 3 points for Bristol, you'd think. As Bristol look to go even further ahead in this one to make it a 2-score game. Lovely hands there out to the wing. So 32 minutes.
Really semi-Rajaja in this back line. They don't click as well without him.
There's not that connection, is there, really? But I think they're missing Harry Randall as well a little bit in this one. But do you know what? They haven't played that well, but who cares? They're 17-6 up, and they're probably going to be 26. They've gone for the corner, which is an interesting choice.
Yeah, keep on with it. They've got quite a couple of injuries. I think.
going for the more.
Now they've got a chance to play. Sheedy. Chip across the field. Can they get Luke Morahan? Oh, he's knocked it on. Just go back for the penalty.
Yeah, it was an advantage. They could try it, couldn't they?
Yeah, but Pietau just knocks that ball on there. He's knocked it on a couple of the times now.
I think you take the points now, to be honest. I'd be surprised if that didn't happen. But yeah, I think you take the points at this moment.
Try for Bears. Chris threw it under the posts.
Too easy, isn't it? Where's the defence? It's a great try. It's a great try for sure. They took it quick, went through the forwards quickly, and then Vui crashing over under the post.
They took it very quickly. Irish weren't expecting it. Quite a clever move by them. Back inside, and it's a simple try for the winner post. Their defence weren't expecting. Very clever from Callum Sheedy there. Quick move. Quite a clever move by Bristol there. I think they
definitely
expecting Irish to put it in the corner.
And now,
I have a feeling that they made one more try now, and they got it.
Yeah.
24-6.
Yeah, crazy now, isn't it? And to think that, before the game, I thought it'd be fairly close. And the thing is, Irish haven't played badly. That's the thing.
It's just two interceptions.
They haven't played badly.
Two interceptions has lost them this game, unfortunately. Because at the moment, if you take those two tries out, they're only 10 points. It's 10-6.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not. I think they've lost a huge amount of confidence, and they're playing a bit more safe now.
Definitely.
And if they need to, I think you need to get Creever on at half time. No offense to this person, but you haven't. Your lineouts been it. You haven't won many lineouts.
Yeah.
That's
very true. Very true indeed. Was that touched on the way in flight?
No, I don't think it is, apparently.
But just under 6 minutes to go in this first half. Bristol will be absolutely buzzing with the way the game's gone so far for them. Irish will be very frustrated. Again, you feel like the next score is really important in this game, don't you? You think if Bristol get the next one, this is game over.
They have to score before half time if they really stand a chance. They're looking to play a bit more. That's a bit of a useless kick, but they're going to have this ball back.
It's a bit of a waste that from Paddy Jackson, isn't it? Pietau just brushing him off.
Try for Nicklin, and that game, what a try. Game is done. A bonus point for Bristol.
It's so easy. I mean, what is Paddy Jackson doing there? He's kicking the ball openly to anyone, and he's kicking it to probably the most exciting possible fullback in the Premiership. He's just kicking it open to him.
It's very good between Hogg and Pietau. They're so, and then look, Aldrich then gets that offload away, and then a simple try, 2 tries for him. 2 tries for Nicklin.
Now,
I know it's very
Irish.
They're the 2 best wingers, fullbacks. I mean, by quite a long way in the Premiership. They're so Hogg and Pietau are so good. Yeah,
the stat and the confidence to do that. I mean, and the finish as well. It's a good support line as well. You've got to say that. Second try for Siva Nologu there, brilliant finish. And well, I mean, it's a strange one because we said it many times. Irish have not played badly except for that try. That try is an avoidable try, but Callum Sheedy adds the 2 points, making it 31 points to 6. There's still 3 and a bit minutes of this first half. I mean, it's been a crazy game.
That's game done now. I don't see Bristol that now. I mean, that was the important neck draw, and they've.
I mean, this game is so different to yesterday's Ospreys and Zebra. I'm quite enjoying this one.
I think they'll be loving life. They can risk taking the ball now because the game is like, if it goes off, it goes off. They can risk now throwing the ball around a bit more now.
Definitely.
10 carries this back three have for 231 meters. Oh, they dropped the ball. No, it's back off Bristol apparently, so it's their ball. Sheedy, they're going to look to move it here now.
It's been the 5th try of the afternoon for Bristol. Look, the defence looks pretty set from Irish though.
Yes, the defence looks better. I think Stephen Luatu is a massive importance to the way this Bristol team is so important to them.
Definitely, absolutely.
They scored another try. Just stop it, Bristol. Just stop it. Another try.
From Pietau into the centres, and there's nobody going to stop him there. And do you know what? Not to be horrible to London Irish now, I felt like that was an unavoidable try, wasn't it?
Right.
They're just going to check the knock on to make sure he was okay, but I think it's okay.
No, I think that's gone forward. It's a knock on. You'll see it in a minute.
Yes, it has gone forward. Yeah, that's not going to count.
Oh, it's just disappointing, but a great move. I think
Pietau is running this game, isn't he? He's just so confident, and he's a physical player as well. He's beating tackles, not with his footwork, but just by running straight into them. He's having a heck of a game.
And his footwork, I think, is defensively, he's not that good in the Premier League. What I've seen, he's not. He misses quite a few tackles, but when he's on attackingly, he's very hard to stop. And he can do the simple as a fullback. You got to do the simple things well, and he does them. He catches them. His defense isn't that good, as I just said, but I think he's tackling. He's one of the best in the world for what he does.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's, if I'm Irish, I'm making a change. I'm bringing. You've got to bring Creevy on. I know that because you're going to see quite. I think you might see Creevy on because the line-out's been poor, and he's over. What's his name? Cornish. He's overthrown his line-out quite a few times, and I think he needs to get that right first before you do anything. They're going to go down.
Going into half time now. What would you be saying if you were in each dressing room? So let's start with London Irish, first of all. What would you be saying to the players now? Because let's be honest, the game is lost. They're not going to win this game. Is it just go out and express yourself, or is it go out and try and get a couple of tries back?
I think for points difference, because it's so tight in the league, just try and concede. Oh, great step there. They're opening up. I just want to see open up a bit and then see some tries from a neutral perspective. That'd be quite good. Maffey's through. Maffey's through, and he's got to try. London Irish has scored before half time.
Ooh, London Irish, are they back in this one? Maffey just shrugs him off, shrugs another player off, and he is right next to the post. Is that the lifeline that they need? Maybe.
I think just talking, I think they need to. That could be a big confidence boost for Irish just before half time. A great little move off. I thought they'll be very happy. I think they got.
It's poor tackling though.
I know it is poor, but I think I can't see if it's John Afoa. I can't tell. But it's very hard. So is it?
It's great work though. He's seen the gap, hasn't he? And he's just gone for it. He's seen the gap. He's gone for it. He's been confident. He's powerful. He's physical, and he's gone for it. And that could be the lifeline that they need. There's about 30 seconds to go until the clock will go red. So they'll kick the conversion. Bristol get the ball. You assume Bristol will kick it off. And that will be half time. Paddy Jackson will surely add these two anyway.
It should. Yeah, 13-31.
13-31 to Bristol Bears.
I think they need to sort out the set piece if they have a chance to get back in this game, because their set piece, personally, they've missed a lot of line outs, and one of them's come from a try, and that just shows you've got players like Rob Simmons, Creevy, O'Brien, Parton. He's not international, but he's very experienced, and I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Parton early on the second half, because he has Okay, half time. It's 13-31 at half time.
Yeah, I think Irish just said they're happy to get a score there. So 13-31 at half time. Quickly then, Freddie, summarise the first half for us. What happened? How did it go? And what would both teams be thinking heading into the next half?
I think Bristol will be very happy getting the bonus point early secured in that first half. 2 lucky interceptions, though. But I think overall they'll be very happy. And I think that try before could we see Irish get back in? We'll have to find out in the second half.
Definitely. So myself and Fred are going to take a quick 5-minute break. Don't go anywhere. We will be back very, very shortly to look at the second half and chat about that first half in more detail. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a second. There we go. We are back. What a first half of rugby. Brilliant rugby. We have seen a possible red card. The ref decided to give a yellow, and they're talking in the BT studio right now and saying that he bottled it. And we'll get Freddie's thoughts on that in just a second. Just before we get Freddie back in, lots coming up on the channel over the next week or so. Of course, with the Six Nations resuming on the weekend, there'll be previews dropping for the 3 games. We'll do a watch along for Italy against Ireland on the Saturday. Then there will be a England against Wales watch along on the 3-bod rugby group. And talking about the 3-bod rugby group, we had the pleasure of talking with Spiky Watkins, Mike Spiky Watkins, former Wales player who captained Wales, played for the Barbarians, is now living out in Thailand. And with the pleasure of talking to him this morning. So that interview is going to drop on the 3-bod rugby group Facebook page. That's going to drop on Wednesday night. So I'll put the link in the chat to the page. Make sure you like and follow the page so you'll be known when that comes out. Fantastic interview. We spoke to him for about an hour and 3/4, so it's a lot of editing to do, but it's going to be fantastic to get him on and to chat all things rugby with him. We recently also did a great chat with Wales women's head coach Warren Abrahams. That's going to come out just before the Women's Six Nations kicks off at the beginning of April. So be sure to follow the 3-bod rugby group. I'm dropping a link to it in the chat right now. So do go give that a like and a follow. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do that because we have so much going on here on the channel as we push towards that 1,000 subscribers. There we go. I think that's every announcement I had to make. I hope you are enjoying the rugby on your Sunday afternoon, having a chilled one and enjoying it. It's been great rugby so far. Let's just quickly, just before we get Freddie in, let's just quickly remind ourselves. The score is 31-13 to Bristol Bears. Bristol Bears already with the bonus point as Freddie jumps back in. Freddie, thoughts on that first half? An enjoyable first half of rugby, wasn't it?
Yeah, very enjoyed. Just listening to what Austin Healy had to say about bottling the card, bottling the decision. Who knows? We'll never know.
I think I agree with him. You know, I said it when we were talking, didn't I? I said, look, do you think that's in the back of his mind? There's already been 5 red cards in this weekend. Does he want the stick of that? I honestly think so.
He's going to get banned. It's going to be all the red cards, and I think he should be banned too because it's dangerous. First thing, he's dangerous. He's not having control of him, and that's why if you're going to do a tit tack, you've got to make sure the control and land on a safe part. That could have, you never know, broken his neck. Or we know.
Exactly. That's why these rules are in place. When we spoke to Spiky Watkins today about it, he said, look, it's dangerous. It's happening way too much. There's a reason the red cards are going out because it is foul play and people need to learn. The players need to learn that, you know, you can't do that anymore because it's dangerous and it puts players at risk. We've seen players recently come out and speak about the concussion and things such as that, which has been a massive issue within rugby union for sure. Just before we get back to the second half then, as you're a guest on the channel here, Freddie, tell us a little bit about your channel and why people should check out what you're doing.
Basically, I do predictions. I talk about the games that are coming up and what I think is going to happen in those games. I think it's mostly Six Nations Premiership rugby because that's why I live in England and that's the big competition over in it rugby-wise. And I'm mainly doing Six Nations stuff, so I will be interested in hopefully make sure you go and like and subscribe and Brandon and put it in the chat before. So yes, it's all about mainly Six Nations and Premiership rugby.
Yeah, definitely. And you're doing a lot of great work. And we did do a preview for this weekend's round of games. And I know you do previews on your channel for the games as well. So be sure to check out what Freddie does, because I just saw Gregor's name. Gregor has said it'll be interesting to see what Nigel Owens has to say. He's the guest on rugby tonight. He obviously speaks quite openly about decisions. I'd be interested to get your thoughts on one decision last week about Johnny May's try where he jumps into the tackle. Do you agree with that he jumped into the tackle, or do you think it's just a really good finish?
I think I'm a mix between in some area in the field. I'm very mixed because it's a try, but it's not the try at the same time. I think it's a really good finish, and I think if you can jump and get at that angle, it should be awarded. You got that far over to get that try, and I think it's a well finished try, and I think it was a try in the end, because it's like jumping, like you're getting in the air trying to finish a try for your team.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I can see both sides to the argument. I can see that he's jumped to finish, but does he need to jump that early? And if he doesn't jump, does he get tackled? And anywhere else on the pitch, that's a penalty straight away, because we've seen it over the years, a knee to the head or taking a player out in the air when they go up for a high ball. Again, we see it all the time.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So let's quickly talk about next weekend then, before the second half kicks off. England against Wales, down at the Millennium, or Principalities, everyone calls it, as it's known. How are you feeling ahead of that game? Are you confident, or are you a bit nervous?
It all depends on team selection. It all depends what he does at the team Eddie Jones select. And I think if he picks certain players that I've discussed earlier, I think if he picks Ford, we have a much higher chance of winning. I'm interested to see what he does. I think you're going to see, you won't see a 6-2 split this time. You're going to see Malins, and because of Willis's injury, that's the reason. But I think I would love, he's not going to do this, but I would like to see a back row of Laws, Curry, and Earl. I think I'd really like to see that. But I want to see that against Italy, though. But they won't, obviously. But I think Laws, interesting to see George Martin, that everyone was shocked by, to be called up. And I think that's experience, like, good for him. He's only 19. Called up players like Jacob Umanga before. And I think that's important for the future, because I think he will be like Courtney Laws in the future.
Yeah, I think this England team has a decent balance of players in it, doesn't it? Then, of course, the first game of the weekend is Italy against Ireland, which is going to be an interesting game. For me, Italy so far have actually shown a lot of promise, and I am going to do a video on Italy specific at some point over the course of the tournament. Their stats going forward look really good defensively. They're very naive, you have to say that. But quickly, just before the kickoff, what are your thoughts on that game? Surely Ireland are going to win that one comfortably, aren't they?
I know they won't, but I would like to see it. I've been impressed with Italy. I think the defence, they were unlucky. I think the scoreline flattered England a little bit. Twickenham. I do think they really impressed me. Yes, I think they've really impressed me. Interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, definitely. And then, obviously, the news about the COVID for the French is worrying. You don't think that game will go ahead, but we'll see over the next few days what happens with that.
We've had games cancelled for 3 positive tests in the Premiership. They've had more than 3. So is that something to call? You've got to be fair across the whole of the World Rugby. If you have COVID and it's spread across the camp, you've got to cancel your game.
Definitely. Absolutely agree with you. Right, we're about to kick off here then. How do you see the second half going? Bristol have probably won this one, haven't they? But how do you see this one going?
Interesting to see Pat Lam's brought. Is that injury concern? Jonathan is going off. Interesting to see what that's about. But they brought on Armstrong.
Yeah.
I think I would just like to be from an Irish point of view. The games, they'll believe they can come back into it. Anything can happen. But the game is really lost. But I would just like to see them play. If the game's lost, it's good because that's a good kick for me. But it's interesting what they do. I want to see, because I think Paddy Jackson is a very. I think he hasn't looked what people seen. He's been really good, because I watched Premiership Weekend. He's been really good across the season. Just had an off day when they're on BT Sports. He just hasn't showed up today, unfortunately. A couple of mistakes, but it not normally does this.
No, definitely not. So here we go then. Second half. Again, the first score is so important, isn't it? If score, it makes it interesting.
Game's on.
Yeah. It makes it interesting.
Oh,
but if Bristol get a score, you're thinking this is game over.
And Pietau got dodgy hands or something, because he keeps knocking the ball on.
Other than that, that was a lovely play from Bristol there, wasn't it?
Back inside, coming round the wing, Mora-handed, created the space on the outside. Just Pietau couldn't keep the ball in his hands.
No, it was great play though. I mean, Pietau's like similar, obviously very different position, but similar to Finn Russell. He's high risk but high reward as well. So sometimes it's just not going to work. He tries something and it's just not going to work. But other times he tries it and actually it's brilliant. It's world class. It's magical. But you have to accept that with that kind of player, that some games he's just not. The things are just not going to work for him.
Well, I mean, like Finn Russell. I think Russell will throw wonder passes, but then with he's going to pull them up with what's his name,
Pietau.
He misses a lot of tackles. That's the problem. Target him.
But the thing with Pietau is you don't have him in the team to tackle, really. You have him because you know of his ability to go forward. Greg has asked said an interesting thing here. From an Irish point of view, he believes that they could do with a few new players.
I think they should.
One of the players, of course, is Cooney, who is probably the Form 9 in the Pro 14, top point scorer in the Pro 14, top in many of the stats. Sexton, I don't know if he's going to be fit for this game. He's had 2 weeks, and Murray as well, so we're going to have to wait and see for that.
I think Murray pulled out. You there?
Yeah, I can still hear you, mate.
I think Murray will be. I think Murray will be fit because I think he was pulled out late in the training session than the day before. I think Murray will be fine. I think Sexton, I want to see Billy Burns give him more of an opportunity. It's very hard against the French.
Yeah. Irish here, attacking just outside the 22. Good turnover from Bristol and a penalty to Bristol as well. At the start of the second half, big morale booster. They're taking it quickly here. Kick downfield. Might be a little bit too much. Paddy Jackson watching it. And it will be a 22 dropout. So it's going to be again, the first score of this game is going to be really, really interesting for sure. Let's see if we can find some stats from that first half. Let's see if we can find some now.
Offloading again. Found that. Just couldn't find it tomorrow hand there.
They are certainly trying to throw it about, aren't they? Which is great to see. This is why I picked this game, because I knew there'd be a lot of tries, there'd be a lot of points. I don't know why I picked Zebra Ospreys. I guess maybe because Zebra and Ospreys are my team. Well, Ospreys are my team. But I thought it'd be a bit better than it was. It was a horrific game of rugby. It really was awful. It's one of the worst games I've seen in a long time. So let's have a look at some of the statistics from the first half. I will share my screen while we do this. And there we go. So in the first half, look at that. Considering the scoreline at half time, Irish had 53% possession to Bristol's 47%. 9 defenders beaten more. They won more rucks. That dominance at the breakdown, which we spoke about, is obvious. 5 turnovers won there. Very, very obvious that they were winning that one. But the territory, once again, London Irish dominating that one as well. So they've been unlucky, haven't they? They've been really unlucky, you'd have to say.
They've been penalty to London Irish.
Yeah.
But I think this is what I mean, where the set piece has lost them. I think the line out, they've lost 3 lineouts that have not been stolen. They've all been overthrown.
Yeah.
That's where they're losing quite. When they get the penalties, they're not getting these lineouts.
No,
they're losing. That's a good kick by Paddy Jackson there.
It is indeed. So, yeah, it's been an interesting first half, hasn't it? And this game still feels like it's in the balance. I think it's still in the balance.
Right here, the game opens up.
Definitely.
They have to nail this lineup. That's the problem, then.
Yeah, sure they do.
But they have got loads of experience to come off this bench, and I think that could be a positive thing.
Are you surprised you haven't seen Creevy yet, the Argentinian hooker?
I'm a bit surprised. I would want him on before.
Oh, the driving maul. Here it goes.
Cornish showing a bit of carrying well there. Rona. He's going back.
He'll carry that.
There. He's got no support, so if he gets turned, no, he's fine. Just couldn't get the ball back inside.
Lovely. Oh, they dropped it. Quick turnover here for Bristol. If they can get this sorted.
That looked like a high. Yeah, it's a high tackle. Yeah, penalty.
Yeah, definitely a high tackle. That he's got his arm around his neck like this.
Oh, the ball just can't stick for London Irish.
No, definitely not.
But at least they're trying to play or unlucky.
It's a poor tackle. That's
a change is coming. I think Rob Simmons is coming on now. 100 cap Australian.
Yeah, it's not a bad person to bring on, is it?
No, seen O'Brien. O'Brien's coming on for Blair Cowan. And that's interesting to see. I think they're trying to keep keeping their captain on there. But I think O'Brien's not quite a few test cap person to come on. 9 test caps to come on the field is quite impressive.
Cowan's not happy to be going off, is he?
No,
you can see it there. He was not happy, but O'Brien comes on.
Yeah, I think the player O'Brien is. I don't think it suits the balance of the back row though. If you brought what's his name off Blair Cowan, I don't think you have Cowan, O'Brien, and another Robertson / too easy.
Yeah, for sure. Nearly half an hour, just over half an hour to go in this one. Bristol Bears leading 31-13. If you're new here, do subscribe. It's free to do as we push towards those 1,000 subscribers. Or if you're watching on Facebook, like and follow the page as well. You're more than welcome here. Get your questions in the chat, etc. Be intrigued to hear your thoughts. These watch-alongs are much more chilled than the Six Nations ones. So it's nice and chilled, just chilled on a Sunday afternoon as we watch this one with Freddie from FBTC Rugby.
Great, that's great. More defence from Irish there.
It is, isn't it? Fair play to them.
They've got to soon, really, in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. They need something in the next 5 minutes, you think?
Because
next 10 minutes max.
20-31 if they get the conversion.
Yeah.
That's only 11 points difference in anything. Interception, try. Just seen they scored in about 2 tries in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Pat Lam is just speaking to BT Sport.
He's saying about Jonathan being 37.
Yeah.
I really like the way Pat Lam. I think eventually when he'll leave the Bristol project eventually, but when he does leave, I think he wants to coach Wales. I think he'll take that Wales team to another level.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, that, isn't it? Because he was linked with the Wales job prior to the Six Nations and after last year's Autumn Nations Cup, saying that he would love to coach Wales. And I'd love to have him coach Wales at some point, but I think we have to trust Pivac with this process. And I think I've seen enough this Six Nations to trust in Pivac, and that's the big thing for me. Seeing that we're doing okay.
It's quite a few years with him. When you've got Pivac, it's gonna be time. With someone like Pat Lam, you're going to get instant impact. It's going to be win a Grand Slam in the first 2 years, most likely. It's quite different. The international scene is penalty Irish.
What do they do here? Do they take the points or do they go to the corner? That's the question.
They have to go to the corner, because if they go for the points, the game is slowly going away from them. Yeah,
true. Very true.
And he is going for the corner.
Chawatana won the penalty there. So they are going for the corner here.
It's interesting, isn't it? I have a video. The reason it's very interesting, it worries me next week. Tigers have got Bristol and have got dreading that game.
Well, we will take a look at the fixtures for next weekend before the end of the stream and have a look and have a chat about that. Irish line out.
Once, okay, Ben Meehan's got to start using. No, they got on to it. Okay, it's a scrum. It's going to be a scrum Irish now.
Bristol losing a little bit of their discipline here, aren't they? A little bit ill-disciplined.
Yeah, but it's a scrum now, Bristol. They just can't convert their chances.
But this is okay for Bristol because they'll just look to take the clock down, to slow the game down, to use the time up. I think they're going to be. I don't know. Like Bristol are such an interesting club. The way they play is brilliant to watch, and that's why I picked this game. And after yesterday's game, anything is better than that. So
yeah, I do think Bristol. If you can beat them up physically, like I don't think Irish set piece has been at all good today. In the line-outs, and if you can get your line-out right, I don't think Bristol, they haven't played that well, what I've seen, but I think they are gettable if you can physically match up to them. I think they're not entirely beatable, but when it clicks, most games it does click for them. They've got to get clicking gear, and I think it has, I think the best game they beat Bath 48-3. In that 34 points in that first half, and that's when it clicked.
Yeah.
Watching some of the highlights, just look how his feet step a man like a post box. But just some of they just need to get a bit more offloading game working a bit better.
Well, Charles Piatow, as we can see on our screens now, has had a great game. 9 carries, 160 metres made, 2 defenders beaten, 5 offloads, and 5 gain line success. He's had a heck of a game, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Scrum goes down. They'll reset that one.
I know. I think they needed to quite hard. I wonder if they've made any or make any changes. Who would you looking at the bench? Who would you bring on?
Well, let's have a look at the bench now.
No, Sean O'Brien, Armstrong are the only changes on for both sides.
So let's have a look at Bristol first of all, the winning team. Let me take my banner off. I mean, at this point, the game, is it fully won for Bristol? It's hard to say. I would like to see someone like Johan Lloyd come on, give him time to play and no pressure. I do think Bristol probably need another score just to make it 100% comfortable, but I would certainly be looking at someone like him. Anyone from the Bristol bench that you'd like to see come on?
I would like to see Lloyd come on in the back three, probably for Morahan, because he can just give him the space. Or in the centres, I don't mind. I don't think there's any really game changers like there normally are on that bench.
Let's have a look at the Irish bench then. Nick Phipps certainly offers a lot of experience off the bench, but does he offer the most attack-minded kind of style? Probably not.
I think Creevy is going to be important for this line-out, the line-out that they need.
Would you look to anyone else on the Irish bench?
I would look at Hetamina, and I think Phipps will bring something. I think I would look to Parton if they can get Parton on and create. He's a young player and looks really good. But I think Parton backs wise, and I think probably Creevy forward wise for them.
Definitely, absolutely. So those are the two benches. It'll be interesting to see what both teams decide to do. Still, the score is 13-31. We've not had a score in this second half yet compared to the first half. It's been boring. So 31-13 still. Again, the game is maybe slipping away from them here.
Jan Thomas is off. Jake Walmore is on.
So a few changes for Bristol here. Again, it's interesting to think what the mindset would be for both sides, because Bristol probably think if we get another score, this is game done. They've got the bonus point. So it's going to be interesting to see how they both do. LuTube, welcome back, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Yes, we are watching this one with Freddie from FBTC Rugby, so do check him out. No worries, mate. It's all good. It's all good. Good to see you're here anyway, my friend. Good to see you are here.
Scrum Irish now.
It is indeed. Halfway line.
Or in the next 3 to 4 minutes now. Have to. They want to win this. Any chance of winning this game.
Scrum is solid from both sides.
They've got to try and use this off first phase now.
It's poor, man. They're trying to force it too much. How did that not go forward? Oh, it did in the end. There you go.
Knock on by Irish.
You can say that they're getting a little bit frustrated here, can't you? You can see it a little bit that they're getting a little bit frustrated now, trying to force it a little bit too much.
I think they've got to make changes or try and just get a losing bonus point from this game.
Yeah, exactly. You do feel like the game is slipping away now from them. They've got, 25 minutes or so. A whole host of changes now happening for Irish. I'll take you through them.
There's some changes. Dell's on. Hoskins is on. Creevy's on. And Phipps is on.
Yeah, so lots of changes going on there with Cornish, Goodrick, Clark, Chawatama going off as well there. Nick Phipps will offer a lot of experience, won't he? Yeah. Does he offer that much going forward, do you think?
He has experience, but he doesn't bring the tempo that Ian does. I think I think Phipps is past his best now. I think he's past his best of what he was once.
Well, Johan Lloyd is warming up. We're just seeing him warming up, so he looks set to come on.
I wonder if, interestingly, I think if they brought him off, because I think probably won now.
Yeah.
I think you've got to look at maybe bring Sheedy off, protect him for Wales. The game's nearly done.
Yep. Scrum's collapsed, so they'll just reset that one.
And again.
The things you love to see. That's an interesting debate about the scrum. Would there be something you change about the laws of the scrum with the resetting?
I think to speed the game up, you've got to have a certain. If it's collapsed at once, just give the penalty to whoever went down. Don't give them the opportunity to redent and then concede the other team to concede the penalty.
Yeah, definitely. So they're just about to do this next scrum here. And Bristol win the penalty at the scrum. They take it quickly.
The free kick.
Advantage. Takes it quickly once again. They're not going to be 10 metres. This is going to be another advantage. Goes to the blind side. It's good defence from Irish here.
It is good defence. If they score here, I don't see them getting even anything from this game.
No, definitely not. Going through the forwards now, out to the backs. Oh, went for the intercept now. Is that a deliberate knock on?
That's yellow. Yeah, it's a yellow. That could be yellow.
We're looking at it here. Yeah, he's nowhere near going to catch that, is he? He's not going to catch it. He's gone.
He's gone. He has to be. Yeah, he has to be gone.
The thing is, he has gone for it, but he's not going to catch it. And in the letter of the law, that's a yellow card. Let's have a listen to what the ref says.
So let's look at this again.
I think that's a yellow.
You're never catching that, mate.
He's never catching it, is he?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's a yellow. It's a yellow, but not a penalty try.
No, he's not going to score there. He's too far out, but it's certainly yellow. So London Irish afternoon is just getting harder now. Down to 14 men for the next 10 minutes. A pivotal 10 minutes, you'd have to say.
That I don't see anything coming.
Ben Loader off to the bin, and rightly so.
Yeah. Can't do that anymore. Maybe 5 years ago, it would just be a knock on, but not anymore.
And the thing is, if
like that.
He tries to, if he doesn't go for that pass, that's a try. So he kind of has to go for it. We do have a question here from YouTube. If Scotland beat France, do you think they still have a chance? I've heard Duane a couple more players have tested positive for COVID and aren't playing on Sunday. That is correct. They're not playing on Sunday at all. There are 5 players currently out of that game. But this France squad have shown that even with injuries and players missing, they can still put up a fight like they did against England in the Autumn Nations Cup final. What do you think, Freddie? And thank you for subbing to Freddie as well, YouTube. That is good. So,
just got a penalty there. I think don't write off the French just yet, because they can, as it showed, many people wrote off the French in the final. And look how that turned out. They nearly won that game. Probably should have won that game.
Yeah.
But you've got to go to France, and that's not the easiest place to go to. But I have a feeling I think France will win it still.
Do you think France are favourites for the Grand Slam then?
If they win this game, yes, they are favourites. They are favourites already at the moment. Owen Lloyd has come on for Charles Piutau. But I still think they're favourite at the Grand Slams at this moment. But Scotland have to play really well. They can't. Now they're running it now. They're looking back inside. Naglolan, he's back inside. They're running. They're forward. But it
hasn't quite worked, does it?
Look at the rugby. Is he going to get this? Is he going to slide over?
Irish have got the ball here. They've got it. It's theirs. And it's Irish.
And it's a penalty for not rolling away. He couldn't just get it. He tried to get out the tackle, but just couldn't.
Absolutely. It was a lovely rugby there from
Naglolan.
Poor defence from Irish, you have to say. You've got to put a tackle in there.
3. Okay, finally gone down there. And then that's a good kick from Piers O'Connor.
Now Logo caused them so much trouble. Look at this when you watch it back here. 1, 2, 3.
4.
3.5 tackles he gets through. You just got to take him out.
You've got to take him down, I think. Give any of this back free space, even without players like Semi. You can't give them because they will take. Luatu is off now.
Irish win their ball just about. Nick Phipps will look to box kick this one away, which he does. And he'll be line out to Bristol.
I think that's a good decision. You can't give this team any counter-attack opportunities. Because Lloyd doesn't have the footwork as good as Piutau does, but he has a bit more power, and he has different ways of beating defenders.
Yeah, for sure. Bristol somehow cling on to their own line out there. They'll have the possession here to build something. I think Irish may have turned it over.
Yeah, they have.
They have as well. Nick Phipps here. Going through the forwards now. 20 minutes to go, halfway through this second half. Bristol leading 34 points to 13.
What was the point by that Bristol player doing that?
Exactly. I think there might be an injury here. The ref wants to check something.
I don't know. Who is it?
It's a shoulder charge. Why has he done that? Why has he done that? That's stupid.
Stupid.
He doesn't get anything out of that. He's off. He's got to have a yellow here at least.
Yeah.
He's just shouldered him.
Penalty only. We're just looking. So it could be a penalty. At the moment, they're looking at penalty only. So let's see there. He's getting back up.
The question is he aware? Oh.
It's a definite penalty, or maybe it's probably a yellow.
I mean, that's. I'd want a yellow here, really.
It's going to be a yellow.
It's cynical, isn't it?
Yeah, it is cynical.
He just shoulders him into the chest, and Nick Phipps goes flying.
You knew what he was doing there.
Absolutely, he does. The thing is, he's lucky he hasn't made contact with the head. If he's made contact with the head, that's a red card, then a long ban.
Yeah, because it's 3 yellow cards, the same. 3 red cards, the same thing. They've got to stop tucking your arm, and you're going to have to wrap that.
Why have he done that? I've no idea why he's done that. He's an absolute melon for doing that.
He's off.
He just doesn't gain anything from doing that. So Mitch Eady is off. A stupid yellow card. You've got to say, that is absolutely crazy.
Yeah. There's no need to do that. They're recycling the ball. They're probably going to box kick it.
Absolutely. We've got another question here from YouTube. Who do you guys say has been the best player of each nation so far in the Six Nations? Why don't you start with England, Freddie? For you, who's England's best player so far?
I can't look past Maritoje. Was the only player in that Scotland game, and he continued to do really well against Italy, but it's Italy, so Maritoje, I can't look past that.
I think Maritoje is a great player, but he gave away a lot of penalties in that game, didn't he, against Scotland? I'd have concerns about that if I was England. For me, for Wales, I think obviously Louis Rees-Zammit has been brilliant at taking his chances, but I think the unsung hero has been Wyn Jones in the front row. I think he's been brilliant this campaign. Had a brilliant turnover against Scotland, put in a heck of a shift against Ireland. I think he's played really, really well. I think Owen Watkin played really well against Scotland as well. So been really impressed by them. Best player for France has to be Dupont, right?
No, probably he is the best player in the world.
Yeah, he just is, isn't he? Let's go for Italy. Who's been the best player for Italy? For me, it's been Stephen Varney, the scrum half.
I agree.
Plays for Gloucester, but has played really well actually.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think you're going to win Varney because it's rumoured today Hines is off to Worcester, but Varney needs to start. He's a cracking young player. They lose him to somewhere else. It's a big let go for Gloucester there, but I think he's been superb. Gabat is their 10 or their 9 have been their best players in my opinion. Just go with Stephen Varkers a bit more. I think just think he's slightly better this tournament.
Definitely. What about Scotland? For me, Hogg has been brilliant. I think he's been the standout player, but I think also Hamish Watson has played really well. But Hogg for me.
I think Hogg, and it's that. I think Hogg, Watson. I don't know who's in that. I would have to say at the moment the favourite for that 7 shirt have got to be Hamish Watson. He's been outstanding at the moment, and I would have to say and I was just shout out for Jamie Ritchie too, but I'm going Hogg. Jamie Ritchie in that first game was superb, and we got 6 and 7 there for a long time there in Scotland.
Definitely. What about Ireland then? Who's been the standout player for you for Ireland? Hard to really think of someone, isn't it? To be honest,
probably Keenan. I think Keenan has been quite solid at the back.
Yeah, I think he's been all right, hasn't he? Actually, yeah, definitely. I think Henderson put in a good shift against France, but
they're on break. Ollie Hatton-Collins, what's he going to do? He's going to look to come back inside. Back now, Phipps looking to get it off. Back to Too Easy. Our big carry there. That's what they needed. Back down the short side they go. No one's there, but Ollie Hatton-Collins.
They're going through the forwards. They are making some ground here. Nick Phipps finds Paddy Jackson. Ball out here. If they can get it wide, this should be a try. Quick ball here is needed. Creevy picks it up. Tackle.
Bit of a slow game that bit was.
Nick Phipps into Paddy Jackson. Lovely hands here.
One's there. Oh, Maffey stepping. Thinks he's Charles Peartow.
It's a try for Irish. What a finish in the corner. It's a lovely finish in the corner. And I think the ref is going to want to check this one. But he's talking to the assistant. They both look fairly happy on this one. But they might want to check it.
Jonathan, yes, I don't think in a 10, he's not. I don't think he is the future 15 at 10, Lloyd is. But he's not a future 10.
No. I think Johan Lloyd struggles defensively a lot, you know. Yeah. I really think he does. Has he finished that? That's a try. 100%.
Yeah, it's a try.
Definitely a try.
No try.
Close. Has he dropped it? I think he's got control on that.
That is on that angle, it's very hard to see. It looks he's still in the grasp, but sometimes these haven't been given before.
I think that's a try. For me, that's a try.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be given as a try, shouldn't it?
He's still in his arm.
Try, it is given. London Irish have their second try of the match, 18 points to 34. Maybe a little bit too late. What do you think, Freddie? Is there a chance of comeback?
If they can get a quick try after this conversion, maybe. The game isn't done yet.
Rugby Clues getting his second try in 38 Premiership matches. This is a hard conversion for Freddie Jackson, which he's got it. He's absolutely nailed it. And London Irish, 20 points to 34.
Terence is on the field now for Fia Brufy Clues. Good to see him because he got hit earlier by the yellow card from Bedlow on the net. Good to see he scored that try.
Definitely. Jonathan, I know Freddie's looked at your comment quickly already, but Johan Lloyd is the future forward, maybe at 10. What do you think? Jonathan, thank you once again for joining us here on the Watch Along, very loyal subscriber. Johan Lloyd, for me, is a brilliant player going forward. Defensively, I worry a lot about him. One of the tries that we conceded against Georgia last year, I have to say, to be honest, his defence, he just got bounced off the ball, which is a huge concern for me. Looking at the team, he does get bullied a little bit physically. His step is brilliant. He's similar in a way to Matthew Morgan, although more talented, I would say. He just gets bullied defensively. So if he had two powerful centres alongside him, yes. But he needs to work on his defence. But Halfpenny did that as well. Halfpenny's defence was really criticised. He worked on it. And now, not anymore, but at one point under Gatland, he was probably the best fullback in the world.
Yeah, just going off topic, YouTuber, I do think you're going to get beaten by Man City, but not 10-0.
We'll have to see on that one, won't we? But
I think it's that'll be a coach killer now. You get a try and then you knock the ball on. That's a coach killer. Just after you did something good, it comes crashing down. Interesting.
So 15 minutes to go. Scrum for Bristol in the Irish 22. In it goes. Scrum goes down, but he gets the ball out. Penalty.
Penalty to London Irish.
It is indeed. That's
just
a big
what they
penalty.
needed. Just it's all starting to get.
Sheedy being told to go away. Paddy Jackson will look to kick this one down. He needs to get a decent distance on this, you think.
Move it on the backs. I wouldn't say if they can get a try on a couple of phases and get downfield, I think.
It's not a bad kick. It's just outside the 22. Loader's getting ready to come back on. He's got 30 seconds or so on his yellow card.
Great kick from Paddy Jackson. That's good.
Bristol here. Capon is off with Kloska coming on. So that's a change in the front row.
He's a very young hooker. He's coming through their system.
Definitely. Well, you say the game is won now, so they can have the freedom to do that a little bit more. The line-out's Irish then. Creevy throws it in. Great take there. They get the ball out quickly, going towards the backs here on the halfway line. He's a little bit isolated here, but he gets the offload off. It's a lovely little kick through. Can that work? I think it might go dead, and Johan Lloyd lets it go dead. And it'll be a line-out to Bristol in their own 22. Loader is back on for Irish, the winger. So they're up to 15, while Bristol still have over 3 minutes on this yellow card. 13 minutes to go now. Another change here for Irish.
Parton on for Stokes.
Yeah, Parton on for Stokes here. Sean McConnell, thank you for subscribing. Welcome along to the gang. It's great to have you here. Welcome along. Feel free to get your thoughts in the comments, in the chat. Also, lots of things happening on the channel. Welcome along. We've already covered this a little bit on YouTube. Thoughts on Duane van der Merwe quickly.
Ready. Look at the. That's what I mean when he brought the impact on. Great line there from Parton. Now that's the
problem with Johan Lloyd. He misses tackles. You just seen it there. You just missed that tackle.
Heenan. Oh no, not Heenan. Seen O'Brien.
It's good defensive from Bristol, holding the man up. They're just outside the 22. Nick Phipps at the base of the ruck. It goes to the forwards who take it forward towards the 22. Picked up with Hammer into the 22. Phipps switches the pass. One more pass will surely do it. Inside ball. Phipps is going to get there, and it's a try for Irish.
Oh, the game is not done yet.
In 12 minutes. What a finish. 25 points to 34. This game is not over. Nick Phipps with the try. Lovely try.
Great offloaded there. Building through the phases. Great. Who is it? Hetami offloaders it. Then to Nick Phipps to Nick Phipps. And who knows? This game is not done. It's only 7 points in with 12 minutes to go.
Exactly. And Bristol will still have about a minute on their yellow card. But really, really good attitude from Irish here as they go 27 points to 34. Let me just change the scorecard. There we go. So as YouTube asks there, Freddie, thoughts on Duane van der Merwe? We've quickly covered him, but what are your thoughts on him again?
I think he's a very good see. Very light the wing, very powerful, and enjoy watching him next season for Worcester in the Premiership.
Definitely. I'm interested to get your thoughts on this as well. What are your thoughts on no relegation this season?
I can see why they've done it for financial reasons, but it's always good. It's not. I'm disappointed to see it happen, but we all knew it was going to happen this year. For English fans, Prem fans, knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen, but it's to keep the sport financially safe. So it's probably the best thing.
For sure. Jonathan Davis, no, it's not. It's the Brentford Community Stadium, my friend. In London, it's the home of London Irish and Brentford Football Club, who, although they lost yesterday, we also lost. So that was fun in the Championship as well for us. 10 minutes to go here. So if you're Bristol, let's say you're Bristol now, you're Pat Lam, Freddie. What's your message to the players on the pitch now? How do you look to control this game?
Control. Don't let them back into this game. Keep the control. We've only got basically when this card they'll come back on. Just a bit of control in the game, and we'll get this win back our systems. Absolutely.
And Bristol are now into the 22 of Irish after winning that penalty at the breakdown. It's a great kick. You've got to say that. If you're London Irish, what is the message again onto the pitch now for the players?
Back your systems. Believe in what you can do and try and get a try from. Try and get a try.
Absolutely. Bristol have lost their line out. They've lost it. Irish have got it. It's great still in the line.
Now clear your lines. Don't do anything stupid like Bristol did early on in the game.
Nick Phipps. Nick Phipps has had a heck of an impact, hasn't he? Yeah. On this game. He really has had an impact.
He hasn't looked brilliant this season, but I think he's a good impact sub. He doesn't offer the control and tempo that Ben Meehan does.
Yeah, definitely. But he has made a big impact on this one, for sure. So 9 minutes to go now. The Bristol man is back on after his yellow. So it's 15 against 15 as Bristol look to set up this driving maul.
The difference,
they get out.
Yeah, the difference is the interceptions. That's the difference, really.
Yeah, you got to say so.
You got to look. You got to look for that pass back inside.
And I think they'll come back for the original knock on. So it'll be scrum to Irish.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable game, hasn't it? It's been a good game of rugby to watch.
Bristol's control, but I think the second half has been more Irish.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
But I think Bristol have been quite poor, conceding quite a few penalties.
Yeah.
I think it'll be very close.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we thought it was going to be high scoring. I think I asked for 25-24, 35-24 I asked for. So I'll definitely take this scoreline. It's been a great game compared to last night's 10-0 to Ospreys, where we didn't see a try until about the 75th minute. I think it was Reece Webb getting in the corner. But 8 minutes to go on this one. Quickly, let's talk about your club, Freddie. Your thoughts on Leicester as Irish attack here, but they've lost the ball here.
No, they've lost it.
Can they retain the ball? I'm not sure what's going on. It's a bit all over the place. Knock on. And here we go. Bristol will look to throw this one wide. Not many options. It's a bit scrappy all over the place. And they'll come back for the original scrum. But Freddie, your thoughts on Leicester this season? How do you feel you've been doing? Because last season was really tough, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we've made improvement. I think we're very similar to your team, Ospreys. We're a forward-based game. I think yesterday Welford Road would have been rocking. But I think you're seeing, unfortunately, I think you would have seen a bigger score if Weezer hadn't got sent off, because he made 66 metres in 26 minutes. And Carrington, he's such a brilliant player. It's a great signing for South Africa. But I think we are getting better. I think you're going to see we are 7th, and he hasn't even had his own transfer window yet, Steve Borthwick. Yeah. But I think it'll be interesting to see. You're going to see a very similar style. You're going to see a lot of kicking from our team. It's a very similar style to Eddie Jones.
Definitely. But Bristol, Welford Road's a great stadium as well. Do you go there often?
Yeah, I'm a season ticket holder there, so go there quite a bit. It's not been rocking, and it's going to be, even when we haven't been playing well, it's still a very tough place to go. When we're playing well, teams won't, or it's going to be like the years ago where teams won't want to come to Welford Road because it's such a tough, and the crowd get on you quite quickly.
Definitely do.
And I think without fans, I think the ref like it because they don't have to go to places like Sandy Park with fans, Bath, Gloucester, Tigers, places that have fearful fans and criticise the refs. They might, I think secretly they quite like it.
Yeah, definitely. They don't get the criticism from the fans. Welford Road, I've been there once. Went to see Northampton against Leicester, which was an interesting game. My cousins are Saints fans. Yeah. And I've been down to Franklin Gardens a few times over the years as well. Both are brilliant rugby clubs and rugby stadiums for sure. So 5 minutes to go in this one.
I have a feeling that I don't see Irish. I think Irish could get, I think they'll be very happy with a draw today.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, as we said before, they haven't played badly. They've played well most of the time, haven't they? They've just been really unlucky with those 2 interceptions. But
winning the game
their chances.
Interceptions. Oh, great hands there. Oh, nearly.
Loader trying to break through there. Phipps has sped this game well. He's a little bit isolated here. Bristol needs to just be disciplined here. Nick Phipps go to the backs. If the ball's going wide here, cuts his side on the halfway line. Going through the forward. Paddy Jackson, lovely pass outside here. He needs options back inside. Paddy Jackson tackled about 10 minutes out, 10 meters outside the 22. Going through the forwards. Ball out wide here. Paddy, here we go. There's a little bit of space out wide here. If they can get the pass right, which they can. Loader tackled well by Johan Lloyd.
No, Morahan. Tackled by Morahan. They've got to get somewhere. They've got to try and make a break soon because this.
Paddy Jackson spraying the ball out. They need options. Inside here. Could this be the try? Oh, he's so close. He just needed to get the offload off. Has Bristol turned this one over? No, they haven't. They go through the forwards. Great hands here. Phipps gets it out wide. Going through the forwards now. Good defence from Bristol, you have to say so.
Yeah.
And Bristol's defence has reset. Full credit to them.
I think if they can get a try now, it opens the game up massively.
Definitely does. Oh, Matthew through. Oh, he's so close. Great tackle. Pick and go from Creevy.
Creevy. Now, is it game? Is it...
They're pushing here. Surely one big shove does it for them.
We are in. Come on.
Great defence from Bristol. Has he held the man up?
No.
They need to beat the ball. Phipps into Creevy once again. He pushes for the line, but it's tackle for short.
It's going to be all
pass, and it's a great tackle on Paddy Jackson.
That's a pet.
Irish have scored here. A brilliant try.
Who knows? We got 3 minutes to go.
3 minutes to go. 32-34. The conversion is going to be a little bit difficult. Both teams have bonus points. Oh, what a game of rugby. What a game of rugby this has been.
I thought it would be because they're so attacking. He's lucky then, Logan. That's taking man out in the air.
Do you think they'll go back and look at it?
I don't know, but it's a man out in the air.
Do you know what? Paddy Jackson there, he knows he's going to get hit hard, and he does pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah. And this is what I mean. Apart from
he's talking to the linesman, isn't he? He's talking, asking.
He's been ripping it up. It just balls over the top, trying to. Okay, now is he going to get it?
It's not actually as difficult a kick. I thought this should be an easy conversion. This should make it 34-34 with just under 2 minutes to go. He's got it. It's 34-34.
Oh, this is such a close
stadium. What a game of rugby we have had. This game of rugby has been brilliant. You've got to say.
You see what that 10-0 Ospreys last night compared to this?
Last time out, this was a horrific game, but fair play to Irish. And you know what? We said it when Nick Phipps came on. We said this isn't the greatest substitution, but he's made such a difference. Such a difference. Now, the question mark is, do you go for the win?
Irish are going to play this ball now. They're going to look to... and they might even win this game.
Here we go. Kick. Jackson kicks it downfield. Is that a good idea? Johan Lloyd with the ball in hand. What's he going to do?
He's going to run. They're not going to kick it. We all know.
Ball out wide, going through.
Okay, they've got to hold on to it now.
Minute to go here then. Freddie, predictions quickly for this final minute. What are you saying?
I think Irish are going to get a penalty and going to kick for goal.
Oh, it's so tense here.
Oh, it's so tense. Oh, no, my thing's cut out. Oh.
Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. Here we go. Bristol still in their own half here, trying to play. 40 seconds to go. Going through the forwards, pick and go is the order of the day. Ball out to Sheedy. Connors tries the long pass. It's only just worked, but Bristol aren't really making any ground here so far. They decide to kick. It is down. We are into the last 15 seconds of the game. London Irish looking to run from their own half here. 10 seconds to go. Nick Phipps switches to play. Paddy Jackson out wide. Shoves off Johan Lloyd. Lovely offload. It hasn't quite worked. It screeched to Bristol man and he was out. Are we going to have time for the line out, or is that the game? I think we're going to have time for the line out. I think we have time for the line out. Pat Lamb on the sidelines looking pretty nervous. We're over the 80.
2 seconds. 2 seconds it was.
There. We are over the 80. So this will be the last play of the game. What do Bristol do here?
If Bristol get a penalty, go for points.
You've got to go for points at this point. Ratu, what a game this is. It's so true. Mate, if you're new here, I don't recognise your name. I apologise if you have subscribed, but do subscribe if you're new here. What a game this is. Absolutely a brilliant game of rugby. Last play then. Here goes the line-out. Bath have lost their... Bristol have lost their line-out. Now here come Irish over the halfway line. Can they get quick ball? Phipps spreads it out. Paddy Jackson. Over here. They could have got the ball out there. There was a man over. I think Bristol might. No, Irish hold on to the ball. Oh, there's a man over. He's past him. It's inside. Could this be the most dramatic game? Oh, it's dropped. He's knocked it forward. Oh, what an opportunity for Irish, and they've knocked it forward, and that will be the game. It's a 34-34 draw. Nick Phipps knocks it on. They were so close at the end there. They thought they'd done it.
Oh, no, they would have been in as well.
They would have won the game. The pass just wasn't.
What a game.
I think he was actually aiming for Paddy Jackson, but he couldn't quite get in. Phipps knocks it off.
Game.
But what a game of rugby. 34-34. What a game of rugby that was. What a game. What a game.
Such a poor pass.
If he gets that pass off,
what a game this game has been.
It's been such a good game. What a game it's been. Incredible game of rugby. So good to watch, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We are going to stick around for a couple of minutes just to do a match review and chat about the game itself. But the game finishes 34-34. Wow, Freddie, sum up the emotion you're feeling after that game, because Yeah.
How great grace it was from 31 down to bring it back to 30. Or that's what attacking rugby like to see. And credit to London Irish to be able to come back in the game. And just shows anyone can beat anyone in this Prem or get a result. Just shows
Definitely.
how competitive it is.
Oh, massively. And you've got to say, Bristol started well, but Irish didn't play badly throughout the game, did they? They played well. They just unlucky.
Won this game if it wasn't
and
for
Nick Phipps. Sorry to go across you. Nick Phipps had man of the match, and he only came on 55 minutes, 60 minutes into the game. That's how much of an impact he had. And me and you were slating him for coming on.
To be fair, because he hasn't been that amazing in the Premiership. Okay, but it hasn't stood out. I think Ben Meehan's been a better scrum half so far.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
second biggest comeback ever in the Premiership.
Oh wow, fair play to them. I mean, what a performance! What a game. Let's take a look at some stats then from this one. We'll have a look at some stats from this game, because a heck of a game. What a game we've just witnessed there. And glad that you guys have been able to join us throughout this one. It's been such a good game. Let's get that up now. There we go. Let's have a look at the stats then from this one. Overall, London Irish dominated possession, 62 points to 38%. Territory then was 65% to 35%. So Irish really playing in the right areas of the pitch. Have a look at this though. 9 clean breaks apiece, but 30 defenders beaten from Irish compared to the 12 of Bristol. 99% of their rucks were won for Irish. They were really dominant at the breakdown today. Both teams looking to offload, 10 apiece, 7 turnovers won for Irish. They played so well. The defence then, look at that. You could just see how much Irish dominated the game, and maybe they consider themselves unlucky not to win this one, but they played so well. Wow, what a game of rugby. What a game of rugby that was. It was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was phenomenal just seeing Nick Phipps. They can't believe they just saying how anyone, they're saying Sarah saying how, and it's they lost 28-3 to Exeter last week. People forget, it just shows how anything can happen. I do think Bristol were they weren't at the races in the second half. I think that Pat Lam will be extremely annoyed about that. But it's a great game to watch for the neutral. It's great. I think London Irish will be quite happy to come back in that game.
Definitely, they will be. And do you know what? It shows a lot of character to do that. Let's quickly then talk about Bristol Bears. How will they be feeling after from such a point ahead in the game? How will they feel, do you think?
I think they'll be looking to unfortunately get a result against Leicester next week, reaction. But they won't have. I think Callum Sheedy. I think Owen Lloyd. I think it's extremely good, but just doesn't. He's going to get next week when you've got a big you're going to just see people. He's not defensively next week, and I think Bristol want a reaction, and they're going to miss Callum Sheedy. He's so important to them.
For sure, definitely they are. Let's then quickly talk about next week then, because we've got a lot of games going on in the Premiership. Let me just get the fixtures up for next week. So in round 11, let me just share my screen. There it is. So in round 11, Sale Sharks kick us off on Friday night against Exeter's Chiefs down at the AJ Bell Stadium. Then we have Bristol Bears. They will host Leicester Tigers, your team, Freddie. 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday down at Ashton Gate. Newcastle Falcons will host Harlequins. Newcastle haven't played for such a long time due to the pandemic. Wasps then host London Irish, while Gloucester host Worcester. And then Saints on Sunday afternoon, will host Bath. For you, what's the pick of the bunch there of the games? Which ones are you looking forward to watching the most?
I think Sale versus Exeter will be a good game. I think Sale Exeter or Northampton, but I say Sale Exeter is the game of the weekend. Attacking, they won't be the same because both teams lost this weekend. So I expect a reaction from both teams.
Definitely. And what about your team, Leicester? How will you feel facing Bristol?
As both of our players, two of our players in that back row, we're a bit light in the back row now with both 2 players getting sent off, and interesting to it's interesting to see. But it just shows they're just about to show the league table now, and it's so close between anyone.
Sure. We'll take a look at that league table in just a second as well. But for you, in this game, would you say Nick Phipps deserved the man of the match?
Paddy, I don't think he deserves it. Just that mid-table. Anything 3 weeks ago in this table, Harlequins was 7th, 8th. Now they're 3rd. Just shows how if you put a bunch of results together, you can get a result. And from today, I wouldn't be as fearing as a Bristol side as I would been before this game.
Because it shows maybe missing the likes of Nathan Hughes, missing a few of their players through injury. Is that leadership there on the pitch to ensure that they can keep playing, that they can keep this level? Because that would be a concern for them. But what a game of rugby we had. And do you know what? I'm so glad we did a watch long for this one. Compared to last night, this was so much better, I've got to say.
It was a long. I didn't expect to be this high scoring, this close. I didn't think Bristol would come away with it, but it's such a good game. It was a great game to watch. And thanks for having me on the channel, Brandon.
Absolutely. No, it's been a pleasure. Let's take a look at the table in just a second then, as we look at this one and see how both teams will look back on this one. It was a great game of rugby, and we were treated to some wonderful things. 2 intercept tries. We saw a yellow card, which probably should have been a red. We saw another yellow. We saw we saw it all. It was a great afternoon of rugby. Let me just get the table up quickly just before we go. Remember, guys, if you're new here, do subscribe. It's free to do as we push towards our 1,000 subscribers. So your subscription is very much appreciated. And also check out Freddie's work as well. I've linked his channel in the chat as well. Let me just get the table up here just to show you how this one has gone.
I think Ambe. I think their Kidney and Kiss, Rolster coach, allowed them to take the foot off the pedal because they were that far behind, and gave them a bit more freedom to open up a bit.
Definitely. So let's take a look at the table. Bristol Bears stay top. Obviously, they got a draw and they got a bonus point today. Exeter 2nd. Harlequins, as you rightly said, are up to 3rd. Saints in 4th after their win this weekend. Then you have Sale Sharks, who lost this weekend. Of course, they're in 5th now. Falcons having a good season. You've got to say 5 wins out of 10. They sit in 6th. London Irish in 7th now, above you, above Tigers right now by a single point. Look how tight it is between, you've got to say, between 9th and 5th. There's only 4 points separating them, so it's very, very close from there. Under Tigers, you have Wasps. Bath then down in 10th with Worcester on 11th on 15 points, and Gloucester right at the bottom of the table, having only won 1 game all season, sit on 11 points. What do you make of the table, Freddie?
I don't think Northampton are out. Harlequins and Northampton, from there to Wasps, I think any of those teams could get top 4. Any of them, because who knows, Harlequins can just, they haven't been great and then start putting games run together. If you put games together, you can go all the way up. But I really worry for Gloucester fans. You are lucky there's no relegation, because you are big trouble. You're 4 points behind Worcester, and then the next team you're 9 points behind. The gap is starting to open up.
Yeah, it definitely is. But it's such an entertaining league, and it's so competitive, and it is good to see that. We are going to clock off here now. We have been going for 2.25 hours, but it's been brilliant to watch this game. It's been so entertaining. It's been so good to watch. We are grateful for you guys joining us. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, do make sure to do that. There'll be loads of watch-alongs next weekend with the Six Nations. Also, check out Freddie's channel. That's right, FBTC Rugby. Check it out. He does great Premiership content. And we'll be doing a lot more videos, hopefully, together in the future as well. But thank you, Freddie, for jumping on. Was this your first watch-along?
Yeah, it's the first watch-along with you. And hope for more in the future.
Absolutely, definitely, for sure. What a brilliant game of rugby we had. Thank you so much for joining, guys. We will see you very shortly here on the Brandon Smith Rugby channel. Take it easy and peace.